Welcome to Luxe RV. Thank you for choosing our services. Here we have our Mercedes View tutorial. For safety measurements, you'll want to know that the Mercedes View is 25.6 feet long, 7.3 feet wide, and 11.3 feet tall. Here we have our power switch area. Always make sure that the battery area is always on. Here is where you switch the automatic for the retractable step for the front door. Here is where you'll shut on and off the awning light. And here is where you'll control the retractable awning, whether it's in or out. Remember to always have the power on in order to control any of these things. From here, just roll the awning out for easy shading. Here is where we have our switch to control the day and night modes of the lighting on the inside. This is where we have the retractable sunroof and moonroof. And here is where you can control the inside or outside entrance light. Here we have our stereo area. From here you can control music of the whole RV from the front to the back. A is for the front, B is for the back, and C are for the outside speakers. In order to turn it on and keep your phone displayed, make sure to hit the mode until you get to Bluetooth mode, then hold on the enter or search button until a countdown displays. At this point, it will be searchable to your Bluetooth devices, and you can connect and start to play all your music from there. Moving on to our kitchen area, here we have our fully functioning sink with cutting boards. Always remember to switch it to the other side for the cutting board and replace it when you're done. Here we have our fully functioning propane stove. The top area is all glass, so make sure to be careful and lift it before use. If you want to turn on the stove, remember to come on over, switch it to the light, hold and press the ignite button, and remember to hold for 3 more seconds to allow propane to fully flow to the area. When you're done, make sure to switch it to the off position and allow time for a cool off before dropping down the glass top. Here we have extra controlling for lighting, ambient lighting, as well as a ventilation fan for cooking. Always remember, if you do hear a sound like this and don't know where it's coming from, it is from the ventilation fan. Here we have our control panel. You can turn on and off the water pump, the electric water heater, and the propane water heater. Remember that you can't have them both running at once, and if you're running the propane water heater, always remember to turn it off after use to conserve propane. Remember to always allow 15 to 20 minutes of running before starting your water to ensure that you'll have a properly warmed water. Here's where you can check the tank levels. First page is tank levels. The second page is where you can check the propane levels. Here is where you can check the battery levels, chassis, as well as the house battery. Here is where you start and stop the generator. Either long press for about 5 seconds for a manual start, or just press and wait 45 seconds for an automatic start. Here's where you stop, and here's where you check meter levels to see how long you've been running the generator. Here's where we have the slide in and slide out for the wall. Here's the LP valve, which should be always in the on position unless otherwise advised. And always remember to have the engine on and the emergency and the brake in the up position to have your slide out come out without any problems. And once you have the engine on and the emergency brake up, here is where you'll use the slide out. This lever right here will slide in or out. And remember, before you slide out, always check your outside surroundings to make sure you have enough room for the slide out to come. Now, let me go on ahead and show you guys how it works. And just like that, within about 10 to 15 seconds, you have a whole new living room. Now when it comes to putting it back, make sure there's no debris blocking the slide out wall and no one sitting in the area. This will ensure that you'll be able to bring it back in without any problem. And here's our power inverter, which controls house battery power to the televisions whether you're dry camping or on the road. And here's our refrigerator. We have locks on the refrigerators to make sure that you can drive and safely store your food. So remember that it's always closed shut. Here's where you can control settings about the refrigerator. we always recommend having it on the setting A. This will automatically switch the power settings from the battery to the propane to the outside electric source. It's also touchscreen, so make sure that your frost levels are also on high to ensure that you have optimal cooling for your food. And here's where we have a setting for defrosting, which we don't recommend using. And here's our bathroom area. You can see your shower head has an on and off position, which we recommend to conserve water. Here we have the toilet area. Remember, after every dumping and complete waste dumping, to drop a blue pack as well as a gallon of water in there to ensure optimal use. Here we have the microwave. Keep in mind that if you want to use the microwave, AC, or the plugs, the generator has to be in the on position, or you have to be plugged up to an outside electric source. To control the AC, once you have it plugged into an outside power source or the generator's on, you can switch mode as well as temperature. Now, to complete your bedding area, you're going to want to unscrew the tabletop, lift the tabletop and the leg. I usually like to store it over here. Place the tabletop onto the frame, and to complete the bed, remove the 2 cushions and complete your full-size bed. In case of any electrical issues, you'll always want to come down here and check the fuse box. This will show you all breakers and fuses. Here's where you can easily refill the water tank. Either refill it here, or if you refill it on the city side, if it overflows here, that just means the tank is full. Here, we have the black waste tank flush inlet. We don't recommend doing this because we do it for you. However, if it is an absolute must, remember when it's plugged up, have both valves open to prevent an overflow of water on the inside. This is our waste tank area. The first thing you're going to want to do is uncap the drainage. Then hook your hose up to it and the sewage. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and pull the lever on the black tank area. Allow this to flow out until completely empty. When done, pull the lever for the gray tank area. This will flush out the black tank and let you move on to filling the water tank. When you're filling the water, remember to connect your hose here and switch your lever to tank fill. When you're done, switch it back to normal. Here's where we have our 30 amp electrical cord. Remember, if you're at a campground, you unplug it from here and plug it into the ground electrical source. Whenever you're done and leaving, remember to re-plug it back into the generator to ensure generator power flows correctly to the RV. Here we have our propane area. Go on ahead and unlock the area. And make sure that the emergency valve shutoff is off. Then we go on ahead and refill the propane and then switch it back to on to ensure that propane can properly get to the RV. Next, we have our diesel. All of our RVs run right off of diesel, and you just go on ahead and refill it from here, diesel only. And with that, we'll close our Mercedes View tutorial. Remember, if you have any questions or inquiries, go on ahead and feel free to give us a call, and we'll make sure to answer all of your. When you receive the RV, make sure to ask any and all questions to make sure that you're fully knowledgeable before hitting the road. Have a wonderful trip.